Hello, my love. Hello. How are you doing? How are you doing? Welcome into our space. You are very welcome here. I am so glad that you are here. We have a very deep talk today. I'm not going to rush this talk. And I'm going to do my best to make sure that I articulate it the way that I need to so that you get it. You understand? You will hear beeping in the background. I have a a fire thing that keeps going off because the battery needs to be changed. But where I live, we can't change it ourselves. So that is why someone had a rude comment the other day. Okay, well, it bothers you. Just don't listen to the messages till they're gone. Just don't listen to it. It's fine. So I apologize for that because we're not the ones. We're not allowed to fix it. They have to. So we're caught up at that time. So, I'm so sorry. I'm so glad to be here with you because this message has showed up in a way. So many confirmations, and that cough is not an accident. I wasn't coughing any other time, and I know when I found out this information, they weren't going to want you to have it. I already knew they weren't going to want you to have it because it's so deep. It's so deep, and I'm so excited. So let's get into it. Okay. So, first, I want to say this. There is a reason. The beginning basis of self-development is finding the love of yourself and balancing yourself out. There's a reason. There are so many things, though, that go into that. And for this talk, I'm going to need you to truly have an open mind and walk with me. Okay? I'm going to move literally at the pace of spirit for this one because I can feel it all behind me, like the knowledge pushing. So I got to move at its speed, not my speed. Okay? So I want you to understand your basis is always love and the love of yourself, not even self-care. That is an action of self-love. For some reason, I do not understand why psychologists and all these self-help people are so afraid to say self-love like it's a disease. And they'll run to self-care. Bump self-care. That's a part of self-love. It's about self-love. But I'm going to explain to you why. We had this talk before as to why that counterpart of energy is so important over here. Okay, some people ask, why do I have to have a partner? Why can't I do it by myself? Doesn't have to be a romantic partner. But energetically speaking, you need a connection. And I'm going to explain to you why. It is also going to seep in as to why these groups make these fake relationships and these fake contracts and why they pull energy from mainly the feminine and not the masculine. Okay. And I'm going to touch upon some things that are natural occurrence that we don't understand what we do and how to fix this. But they don't want y'all to know how to fix this. Understand when I am speaking. Okay, let's dive into this right now. Everyone has masculine and feminine energies. Howbeit soever, the universal couple, okay, the divine couple is a male-female, is a masculine-feminine. Okay, I am speaking from that aspect. Whatever you identify as, my love, is how you identify. But the original cosmic couple, there is a masculine and there is a feminine. There is a male and there is a female. Okay, so I'm speaking from that standpoint, but not disrespecting anyone else's choices and how they see it. Take it where it resonates, please and thank you. Okay. So this is something from a channel called Quantum Mysteries. And it's funny that what we're going to talk about, I created in my program years ago. But the tantric level is the highest level. You can't even get me to teach you that until you walk through the path of truth for yourself. So anyone that goes through my program is a whole year specified to you. But the highest levels is the transformational tantra. That is the highest level. And it's actually what we're going to be talking about today. Not necessarily that, but why you walk the self-love path just to get to the true ancient tantra of you and what that means. And what that means to the masculine and feminine, because that is what Tantra is about, is integrating and alchemizing that energy. So I need you to understand and move in the realms of energy, not gender. Okay? Energy, not gender. Okay. All right, so let's get started. To reference this and why this would even make sense, there is a channel called Intuitive Heart Story on YouTube. I love listening to her because that is what's happening with the aliens, and that is what's happening with those who stole the plane. So that will give you back reference to the masculine and feminine energies and why they are off. Okay? If you look at her channel and you look at some of her readings, I understand they seem out there, but actually they're very relevant. Okay. Another person I'm going to reference this to. I did the talk first, but then I went in and watched this reader, and she's one of the readers I really love watching. And I'm going to say two of them because he has been hinting on this as well. So Black Wind Psychic, please check out her channel. Awesome channel. She is a psychic. Okay. She gives you the difference between what a psychic, a medium, and she's a psychic medium. Always spot on though. And she was referencing, because I want to give her shout out. She was referencing why the masculine energy during this time is so screwed up. Because they made a contract, and I've talked about this in other videos, but they made a contract that they reneged on, and they're getting fucked up because someone else had to come and pick up that contract that they promised. But a lot of us don't want them back to fulfill the contract. We had to do it with someone new. You understand? So please go check out Black Wind Psychic. Go check out her channel. Please, please. And the other one who's been hinting on it is Chiron Intuition. Oh my goodness, Chiron, I absolutely love you, love. And you have been on it. Okay? And yes, we are tired of this fucking story. Yes, indeed. Black Wind Psychic was saying that too. She's tired of this fucking... We all tired of this fucking story. Okay, Intuitive Heart is tired of the fucking story. We all tired of this story. Because there's no point for it. It's like, heal yourself, move on, and do what you got to do. It's no point. So I wanted to give shouts out to them. For sure. Okay, and go check out their channels. Their channels are excellent. Okay, my loves. So, let's get into this. So, the yin and yang is... Everyone knows that symbol. Okay. But not everyone understands how they're to work together. This was always created with the understanding that the masculine energy would work with the feminine energy. Hence why you have soul flames, soulmates, and twin flames. Does not mean they have to be romantic. Okay? It can be a soul brother, sister. It could be a soul partner that you're just not romantic. Best friends, aunts and uncles. Same sex dynamic. But one's in their masculine energy, one's in their feminine. You understand what I'm saying? Okay. So in order to look at this, let's look at what each energy does. The feminine energy, and the feminine energy alone, is creator. It is intuition. It is oral, higher level. It is astral. That is the feminine. Okay? It is what it is. The masculine is the do, the physical, the action, the doer. Yes, the protector, but also the one that is to execute what the feminine gives them to execute. It is a duality that is necessary for creation. Because the feminine can create, doesn't mean it's necessarily the feminine to bring it forth. The masculine is supposed to take that creation and bring it forth. Now, what that also means, okay, is that the feminine energy needs the masculine energy to execute for her and protect whatever she is executing or gave him to execute. He is to protect that. He's to make sure that no one messes that up. Likewise, though, and this is what the masculine don't understand, and I hope I have a number of masculine that will be watching this. What the masculine doesn't understand is your wealth and your riches and your beyond expansion lies with your feminine energy. If you look at older couples of yesteryear and how they worked, I'm not going to get into the roles. Howbeit soever, there is a reason why spiritually these roles are broken down and these roles exist. Because we have specific things that we are to do when we come together. It creates not only a bond, but a bond of power. Okay? That is also why you're to find your right mate that you flow with energetically. Hence, the saying must be equally yoked. Because if you're not equally yoked, you will not have energy flow. Do you understand? It will not flow the way it's supposed to. So, in order for the masculine to achieve, let's get to what they've done, and then we're going to get to what is needed. Okay? What they have done since the beginning of time is downplayed the feminine energy because they were jealous that the feminine is the one who creates, not the male. However, they did not understand that in seeing that intuitive birthing energy, the masculine energy of the masculines did not, and the males did not understand how the feminine could help them achieve. To them, that intuitive nature was less when that intuitive nature is magic. Okay? In a way, the masculine does not have if they don't integrate that feminine. So what did they do? They started making males effeminate, where they didn't need the feminine energy. So the masculine thought that they could erase the feminine out of the whole story, spiritually speaking. If you don't believe me, look at Inanna in the Babylonian story. Look at Mary Magdalene in the Catholic story. Look at Sophia and trying to erase that. All of these, Lilith, erasing her, all of these things. But notice how only certain religions, certain cultures are the ones that erase the feminine. Other ones honor them and keep them there. That should make you wonder why. But the ones who honor the feminine energy and keep them there are the masters of Tantra and understand the importance, the balance, and the flow between them. This is where the masculine energy is failing and failing hard. Is because they try to erase a part of their dual nature that they figured that they didn't need, but yet you cannot create without it. You cannot even move whole without it because you can't sense the love of yourself. If you sense the love of yourself, you never get rid of the feminine side of your energy. And you understand that you need it to be whole. And then you also understand that to manifest completely, you need to be what? Whole and balanced in that masculine and feminine energy. I'm so sorry, masculines, but you cannot remove the feminine and expect, even in an effeminate state, and expect to be able to cash in on the whole of your experience by removing that. Now, just because you may be on my rainbow spectrum, that's what I call it, my rainbow spectrum, and you may be of the gay persuasion, right? And you may be effeminate. Okay, that doesn't replace. Now, I understand you can portray yourself as that feminine energy. That's great. You still got to balance out that masculine and that feminine. You still are in a male's body, right? But you still have to partner with that feminine energy. Even if you are effeminate, you still have to partner with it. And that's why a lot of gay people have feminine friends. That's why we love you like that. Okay, so Understand, this is for anybody. Okay. But you cannot create. You cannot birth. You cannot do as masculine energy what the feminine energy does. You cannot. I'm so sorry. You can fight me on that, but you can't, because spiritually speaking and quantumly speaking, they have their own parts of what they have to do. That is why. Okay. So this is, I'm going to start with what we're seeing. I'm going to start with what we're seeing and then how to heal it. Okay. So this is why the masculine energy fails. One, manipulation of the feminine and or woman. You use her and you use her energy instead of against you to manifest the physical world, and you protect yourself, but you don't protect that female. Instead of sitting up thinking, what can I do to further this feminine energy, foster this feminine energy that fosters me and help it grow so we grow together? A lot of them manipulate. This is okay. This is why you got the third party situation. They wanted the power, and they wanted the person that looks like or that suits what they want. They don't want you. So they're going to keep you in lower vibration and try to steal your energy and what you have, thinking you're in lower vibrational energy, while they get a copycat or a replacement to have the look of what the relationship should look like to them, but stealing your energy over here. That's manipulation. Or gaslighting, still keeping them lower vibrational energy, but you're siphoning and taking all the energy from the feminine. No, that is turning against the feminine counterpart. That is using her. And here's the thing, masculines. When you use the feminine energy without that feminine there, one, the energy knows, it watches, it sees. You will not manifest the way you're supposed to. Number two, though, when it sees that you do not work with her, it sees you are not complete in yourself. So you're not going to also manifest. You may manifest by doing, but that's on the physical plane. And I know to a lot of masculine energies, that's all that matters. But that's why your ass is walking around lonely and broken, because you're not whole and complete. And you think that you could sit up and disrespect that feminine when you need that feminine. But the problem is you think that feminine doesn't know that you need us, when we do fucking know. And when you get one who knows our worth and our value, or learns it, and you still try to squash it down, and we tell you no, then you want to huff up like you, well, baby, we got masculine energy too. We can huff the fuck up too. And then that's when that masculine energy in us turns on and like, why the fuck we need you? Because you made a feminine play a man's game, and that's not supposed to be. I'm sorry, you can argue till the cows come home. That's not supposed to be. That's supposed to be if you're not there, or you can't do it, and we have to leave you, and we have to continue on in that vein ourselves. But if you are the counterpart, you're supposed to take your job seriously, which includes listening to that feminine energy, because that's part is her job. Your part is the masculine's job. But you're both to integrate both sides within each other and within yourself. That's what makes the power couples, because they're whole. We're going to get there. Okay, so second, dependence. So that masculine becomes dependent on that feminine, and that feminine becomes the catalyst, but then you gaslight that feminine by blaming them, and you wanting to play the victim like you, but you're a man. You're supposed to be a man. That's a male, not a man. First of all, a man is grown up. A male is not. So you become dependent on what that feminine can do for you and what that feminine produces. But you want to control it because you're the one who makes it happen on this plane and you execute on this plane. No, it is a two-way thing. You don't control anything. This is also why they sodomize masculines, to bring about that feminine energy, and they become emasculate. That also splits the personalities and screws a person up. That's why you got a lot of actors in Hollywood. I'm going to say this one time. This is why you got a lot of actors in Hollywood that are masculine, or males, who don't know who they are, and they can't be with a female because they had to go through this ritual to try to control their own energy, but then they're a bitch for somebody else. And I'm gonna leave that where it's at. So the feminine becomes the catalyst for your lesson, but then you're blaming her for your lesson because you couldn't be the masculine. No. You should be grown up within yourself to be dependent upon yourself, not a feminine, not their job. Once you get past the age of 13, if you want to look biblically speaking, I think it was 9 or 13. Once you get past that age, you're considered grown, right? According to Jewish faith. But certain other cultures consider you grown too, right? You start developing your own mind and your own thoughts. You really want to act like that. And then when you become a man, but you still got mammy telling you what to do, and then you get a wife, and you wonder why you can't keep a wife because you're dependent on mammy telling you what to do instead of switching over to that wife. Hence why it tells you leave the parents and you go over to your wife, right? Or your husband, because you are now a unit. This is why you're a unit, because of the masculine and feminine energy and how they have to work together as grown folks to do what? Foster and bring about whatever the contract that y'all decided to make said that you're supposed to bring about. That's why. Okay, 3, mixing different planes. Okay, so some of y'all don't like the fact that the person won't be a romantic partner. They'll just be a friend. So since that's not what you want, you'll mess it up. And then the friendship's gone. But you needed that energy. Excuse me. You needed that energy to balance you out. And you kicked it to the curb. So then what ends up happening? What happens? What's the masculine energy like? Chaotic, violent, angry, right? What happens when a feminine energy is like that? Other than us being seen as crazy, right? But you have to do a lot to us for our feminine energy to turn us into that. And usually it's because of a partner or family members or something like that. And it usually has to do with love while we turn into that we're not supposed to turn into. Right? So sometimes our masculine counterparts and feminine cannot take the status in which that person is in with us. Okay? And we don't like that. And you ignore the rules. You ignore the feminine or you ignore the masculine. You don't balance it out. Okay? You don't love the feminine as a woman or feminine energy. You don't love it like that. You see it as something to use. If you can't control it and have it the way you want it. No. All right, 4, ignoring your inner feminine masculine, your anima. Ignoring that. Ignoring that you need that softness to read people. You need that to be able to feel people, because it's the feminine energy that helps you feel. You need that to use your intuition. And no, it's not emasculate because you're using it. You're tapping into your source so you can be whole, so you can manifest correctly as a whole person, not half. So what do? You turn to a lot of these YouTubes that tell these men how they're supposed to be stoic and how they're supposed to be like Machiavelli and stuff. None of the feminine attributes, mind you, just the earthly attributes, but none of the spiritual attributes, which is feminine. You're staying in the earthly attributes, which is masculine. Doesn't that hint to the being of the world, in the world, but not of the world? Masculine, you were already told. You're walking in this world, but you're not of this world. You were already told. And if you're not of this world, you need the feminine, which is the higher planes energy. You need to call that in yourself to feel and see and know. A lot of you are relying on logic to give you your answers. No. Feminine is feeling. It's the nurturing. It's like when you're a dad and your child gets hurt. Now, a lot of dads, get your ass up and shake it off. That's masculine. You continue doing that with masculine or in feminine energy, and you continue rearing them like that, and then they end up being fucking sociopaths and don't know how to act with other people. Well, I didn't know any better. That's how I was taught. No, not excuse. God is not taking that excuse. I'm so sorry. My father's not taking that excuse. So you can learn to do better. Even if you're raised that way, you can learn to do better. You see the examples all around you. I'm sorry. Spirit is not handing out tickets to heaven because your ass didn't know something when all the answers are fucking around you. No. You can't pull that shit at the pearly gates and thinking your ass is getting in. Absolutely not, because Satan gets your ass first to weigh you. Or Anubis, if you want to say. But Satan gets your ass first to tell you where the fuck you're going. Anubis weighs you. It's not going to be counted. I don't know. It's not an excuse. But then you have dads that listen and nurture, because that feminine may not be there. That father nurtures, listens, understands, understands, gives you next steps in what you're doing or what you need to do, gives you that hug or that kiss, right? Nurturing. It's not just the feminine. It's masculine too, because feminine cannot nurture in ways that masculine needs to. Do you understand? It is a partnership. It is not where we're fighting each other on what role one role does and what other role does. Or it's not also fighting each other. You need to act this way and you need to act this way. First of all, and I'm going to say this again, masculine. You cannot tell us how to be a fucking feminine. You can tell us the feminine experience you had, but you can't tell us how to be a fucking feminine. We can't tell you how to be a fucking masculine. We're not fucking masculine. Okay? We can tell you from our perspective and what we see, but we cannot tell you. So I don't listen to a fucking man telling me how to be a goddamn woman. Not even a gay man telling me how to be a goddamn woman, because you don't know how to be a goddamn woman because you ain't a woman. You can tell me your experience that you are experiencing, that similar things we experience as feminine energy. That's what you can tell me. But you cannot teach me how to be a woman. I cannot teach you how to be a man. I can't even teach you how to be a gay man. Do you understand what I'm saying? But you can, masculines, teach us what men say or see in women for us to change it, and vice versa. You can do that because we can understand that, right? You can do it from your perspective. That's it. That's the only perspective that you can give. These fights that masculine and feminine energies are having is produced, mass produced, and mass created for the simple purpose of the twin flames and the soulmates and the soul flames not being together and mistrusting each other. So you can't be your own real power. That's the sole purpose. When I get to the positivity, you're going to see why. But that's the sole purpose. It's so you can be controlled by not being whole. But in order to control the feminine, or to make sure that the feminine energy was not protected, they had to get the masculine energy to see that they didn't need the feminine energy, which is a lie that the masculine energy has been believing forever. Then they emasculated you, thought that you could replace us, which you cannot, because you still got to have both. Even us will still have to have both. But see, the problem is when you move outside your nature, your true nature. And I am not talking about your nature as a man or a woman. I'm not talking about gender. Okay? I'm talking about the energy now. When you don't move in the natures of your energy, you are off. Okay? Every one of us has both. You are off. And they made sure not only did we mess up our sex, male or female, okay, man or woman, and I'm not talking about in the realm of training. I'm not talking about none of that. No. I'm talking about the identification of a man versus the identification of a woman, biologically speaking. That's what I'm talking about. They messed that up. And then they messed up the energies because people don't know where they're at in themselves. Okay? That's what I'm talking about. So, 5. Expecting an instant result from the internal alchemy. The combining of masculine and feminine energy is internal alchemy. That's where the alchemy really happens. That yin and yang, that as above, so below, because below is the masculine, above is the feminine. I told you there's more reasons to these damn scriptures than you think, and a lot of them have to do with just life. As above, so below. As the feminine, so the masculine. And vice versa. Because what does that do? That creates a flow. And we're going to get to why masculines and feminines, you have to integrate both of these energies to have the symbiotic flow to manifest real time, because you're whole, not half. You're not believing the lie that they told you and where you need to be. And then what they did was they fucked up society, and you have the social media where you have to look and be a certain way for people to accept you. No, you don't. You just have to be authentically you in love, because that is what my Father is looking for, to see you. It is not what they're telling you you have to be. That's a lie. You have to be whole. And that's why Tantra exists. Controlling desire to let go within desire, whole. Because you don't lose yourself when you're whole. You know you. Do you understand? Okay. When you are whole, you are able to form what's called an alchemical union. The alchemy of you and the alchemy of them, and then together a big bang. That's an alchemical union. That's what they don't want. They don't want the power couples unless they can control them. They don't want you finding yourself, because that means they can't control you. They don't want you having love, because you exponentially change, because love is limitless, and you two energies together working in tandem, creating that yin and yang flow, cannot be controlled. And that is why they need everyone. They need the women against the men against the women. They need the rainbow community against each other. That is why they need people not to love each other. And in order to not love each other, the basis is you don't love yourself. So they can keep stealing your energy and keep trying to use it for themselves. Well, that's a hell no. That stops. No. And especially not from the higher power ones. That's a fuck though. Because we know who we are. We know the importance. We don't need your books to know. We know. We were born knowing. And that's what you can't understand. It's how we were born knowing, but you weren't born knowing. It wasn't for you to know, clearly, because you stole it. Duh. We're not as stupid as you think we are. We just don't fucking tell you anything. Because we're not to tell you anything. It's not for you. You have your lackeys and your other people to save you. Stay the fuck out of our face and our energy. It's really that simple. It's really that simple. So, let's get into what happens when you do walk in both your masculine and feminine energy. One, recognition of the need of the feminine energy. So to those that feel like they don't need it, using women for your gain kills what you need and brings karma back to you. If you only take a woman and or use feminine energy just for gain, it's not going to work. Have you noticed something? Have you noticed something? Have you noticed truly, and I'm going to use man and woman for this one. Have you noticed though, when someone is in their honest masculine energy, okay? And actually, no, think of any relationship. When someone's in their honest masculine energy, how soft that feminine energy becomes. Have you noticed that? And a lot of people ask why. Some women in feminine, those that identify feminine, hate that. Don't. Let me explain why. That is your inner innocence of love and who you truly are. And when that masculine energy creates a safe space for you to be truly innocent, truly you, it comes out naturally. This is another reason why the chosen escape their grasp. Because that innocence can read that fake shit, and it will not come out for nobody. It will not. Now, if we are aped and abused, yes, our pain comes from that inner child space, but this is beyond the inner child space. This is pure innocence. And everyone still has pure innocence somewhere. Okay. But notice when they feel safe and they feel protected, that feminine energy becomes quiet. She becomes docile. She becomes the creation itself and will do anything for that masculine counterpart that they ask us to do. Any support, any help, any nurturing, we naturally do that. Especially the loyalty. We naturally do that. When we feel safe and loved, we cover our masculine. We nurture them. We love them. We're there for them. We're not their doormat. We're not their maid. We're not their mom. And when we do for them, it is out of the goodness of our heart because we want to. It gives us joy. Some people can't understand why they naturally act that way. Because your innocence is safe. That masculine that masculine energy, or that man, or whoever resonates in there, has created the space for that innocence to be. So she can come out. And that masculine energy understood the assignment. That's why they get it. You understand? The ones who keep acting in ego don't understand the assignment. And that's why they never get that. And then those that steal energy want to know why they can't get to that purest part. Because we have a defense mechanism that won't let you. And some of us have a stronger defense mechanism where it won't let you break it. We'd make sure that you receive back in kind what you sent out in order for us to keep it. Let's put it like that. We love ourselves enough that we destroy your ass if you try to destroy that in us. And that's why your third party, for some of you, doesn't get it. Now, some of you, it did, and they lied, and I get it, and that's why it's so hard. But some of us, they couldn't reach that, and they mad as fuck they couldn't reach it. Some of us have that on lock and key so locked down. No, you ain't gonna reach that. You didn't touch that, and that's why you're not broken, because they couldn't touch it. Think about that the next time someone breaks your heart. Did you give that part of you? Did you give that inner child, or did you never feel safe enough to give it? If you never felt safe enough to give it and they never touched that inner child, then baby, next, you didn't get it. So next, and that's how I look at it for me. In terms of that, you didn't get that. So bye. Feminine energy is for creating life. In particular, creating life. Okay? Serves him and her. Both of you. Feminine energy serves both masculine and feminine. Not just one. She serves herself and you. Okay? And likewise. There's no room for ego. When you're in true masculine and feminine symbiotic alchemy and alchemical union with self and with someone else, ego doesn't exist. And that's how you know you're with a real one, as y'all call a real one, right? Ego doesn't exist. There's no room for ego. Why? Again, she feels safe enough to share that innocence with you. That's an honor. And then you in turn feel safe enough to share your innocence with her. And her innocence recognizes yours. And then, Big Bang. In that alchemical union, everything changes. Okay. 2, purification of intentions. Feminine energy has a magnetic pull naturally. Masculine energy is more standoffish. Okay, hence how you act. But it has a magnetic pull to purity. What did I just talk about? The innocence. The feminine energy has a magnetic pull to innocence, to purity, because of ours in there. And we want to share it. But we don't let you have our innate power. We don't let you have that. We're not to just give you our innate power. No, you got to earn that, babe. So sometimes when people are in a relationship with you, they think they have access to that innate power to control. And for some of you, they have. That's why, okay, that's the difference between those of you that don't love yourselves, that think less of yourself, that no one will ever love you, that you're not pretty enough. And why do you think masculine energies and there's feminine energies that go and seek these people out so they can control you? They control your decision. In controlling your decision, they control your will. In controlling your will, they control your power. That's all this is about. In the grand scheme of things, it's controlling your power and your will. No. No one's to control that but you. Do you understand? So, feminine energy can feel intention and if it's right or not. Your innocence tells it. If you sit up somewhere and you start to feel that innocence come out, that means you're feeling so much love and so much protection from somewhere that it can. Okay. 3, energetic contact, physical or on the ethers. Okay. But it can be a physical embrace. Doesn't have to be romantic. Okay. But you cannot demand it. But you have to be open to receive it. And this is where they get a lot of males and masculine energy turning the feminine energy away. You have to be open to receive, because feminines do what? We receive you. Now, if you're looking at men and women and you're looking tantrically speaking, romantically, physically, women receive the jade pole. We receive. You give. Right? But in turn, and this is where they screwed up the story. In turn of us receiving, though, we give nurturing and the creative energy of life to you. In return, you give protection and love, right? And the execution of what you two need to do together. It is a symbiotic, alchemical union relationship that's supposed to happen that flows. And that's, again, why you have to have the right energetic partner. Because if you don't, you can't flow. And you're what? Stuck. Men believe that they cannot receive and they see it as weak. And the problem is because they see receiving as weak. And I'm not talking about the receiving of giving a gift. I'm talking about really sitting up, meditating, and receiving what is coming into you, what that feminine is pouring into you, what your masculine is saying, and then combining them together. But because a lot of masculine see this as weak, you hold yourself back and you hold yourself bound. You, not anyone else, because you see it as a weakness. Even a mistake is not a weakness. If you keep making the mistake, that's a weakness in character. But if you don't keep making the mistake and you learn from the mistake, that was just a lesson and that's all you needed. It has nothing to do with weakness on your part. Okay? Stop holding yourself back. Masculine blocks themselves because they need to be open to receive union. But see, when you choose the wrong one is when you don't know you. When you don't love you, that's when you choose the wrong one. Because you don't know you, you don't have eyes to see with love, to even understand. You don't have that balance within you to use that feminine energy in you to hear that feminine say, no, that boo ain't the one. What else do you think you use it for other than creating? You use it to feel. Isn't that what I told you? Where you can feel people, right? Feel that evil ass female or someone sitting in feminine energy, and you understand, oh, they're not right for you. They're not right for us. You need the feminine energy to do that. That's your intuition. Then you know. Why didn't I see it before? Because you didn't use your feminine energy. You didn't trust it enough. You didn't foster it enough. I said you have to be whole. That means you're using it. 4, formality of intention from fullness. This is what we're talking about. So as creator, right? You declare what is desired from what you hold inside, right? If you deny the feminine, you're not whole, because now you have no way to create. And therefore not complete to manifest the way you're supposed to. People that are not whole manifest things that are half broken. All right. You're as within, so without. You're not whole here. You're going to manifest something half. You're whole here. You're going to manifest the whole picture that you need. Okay. That's what physical methods are created to replace the feminine. Like we talked about, you go to Stoic and Machiavellian because you just shut out all the feminine when you need the feminine part to actually manifest. You're only doing Stoic and Machiavellian so you can shut off your emotions. But it tells you in the book of Thomas that was taken out, and that's in the Ethiopian Bible, that emotions is part of manifesting. You can't manifest without it, because that's how the authenticity of yourself checks to see if what you're trying to manifest is true. It checks it by your emotions. The feminine energy checks it by the innocence and the purity of the intention. And that's why they say everyone watches you, because everyone does. So, you create physical methods that are created to replace any feminine energy. But like anything else, that's masculine, right? It's incomplete because you don't have the feminine. So it's incomplete. And faulty. And that is why the world looks the way that it does. It has nothing to do with Satan or the devil, all that kind of bullshit. It has everything to do with every motherfucking human being on this plane. And whether or not they know themselves, or not they love themselves, whether or not they know how to be authentic in love instead of following the trends and following what everyone else wants them to do, whether or not they are whole with their masculine and feminine energy and can accept that within themselves, whether or not they are balanced within that to know how to set it, whether or not they can use that thing to love other people and see other people as a mirror to them and what they're going through, in order to see that the enemies were just a lesson in that mirror that they needed, so I can let the enemies go and love them in compassion and love and go about my business. And because I can do that, I can love other people, and I can accept people where they're at. I don't have to project anything on them. I can sit up there and just have compassion for them where they are. I may not like them, but I do love them, and that is absolutely fine. And because I can do that, then now I can move into looking at a partner, understanding that they will mirror back to me that what I'm seeing or what I'm doing, but I'm okay with that because I love and I know me and I am ready for that, and I'm ready to receive that now, and I can likewise do it with that partner, and we can do it for each other and then move in union. So I'm ready now for that union. I'm ready to receive that union. And then when that union comes in, we are moving as a symbiotic alchemical unit. We are expanding and evolving each other. And then we're able to teach other people how to do it in other relationships, how to do that, so they can move as a symbiotic relationship in union. Did you follow the 10 steps? That was from point A to point B. That is why you love yourself in the first place. To understand when it's time for union, the Tantra, the real ancient Tantra of self, controlling self that doesn't exist, but controlling energy to let go within the energy, to be limitless in the energy with both your masculine and feminine. You're whole. And because you're whole and not under anyone's expectations and not under anyone's perceptions, but yours, that's all that matters. It's all about you. This is your universe. And once you are whole, I can love somebody else. I can respect somebody else. They can have their opinions. I don't have to get upset. I don't have to be racist. I don't have to be prejudiced. I know where I'm at. I know what I'm doing. I can love that person. I can see that mirror. I can see that enemy, and I can have compassion because I understand I have been there. I know what they're walking through, but they're not ready to hear what I need to tell them. That's okay. They'll get a lesson somewhere else. Bless you in love. Go on about your business. Go ahead. And then when I'm ready, hey, you're like me. Yes. And you're like me. Want to become friends? We're on the same level. We get each other. We understand each other. We want to take it a little further? Yeah, we can do that. We're gelling fine, growing abundance. All right, let's be together. Can we teach other people? Yeah, let's teach other people how to do it. You understand? You are the very beginning of the whole thing. And that is why this world is screwed up. Because people do not understand that they are the beginning of their own fucking story that leads into the all mind and how to get there. But we know how to get there. We know the whole fucking journey and what it looks like. My loves, you must master the balance of self to be whole so you can manifest fully. Masculine energy, you need to stop. Masculines, males, anyone that is Andrew Tate's and all that shit, okay? But it's a spectrum of that energy. It's a spectrum. Stop cutting out the feminine. Stop cutting them out. You need that energy. There is nothing wrong with using that energy, but I'll guarantee you, you will never understand your feminine counterpart or your counterpart's feminine energy if you don't recognize and honor yours. How in the fuck can you honor a mom, a sister, an aunt, a child that's feminine or whatever without honoring the feminine in yourself? Then you don't fucking honor them. And you don't fucking try to understand them. And feminines, stop trying to be masculines. You're feminine. There's nothing wrong with your femininity. It is the strongest it ever could be. But it's not a matter of being strong. It's a matter of being authentic and real in your innocence and who you are. And that's for both of you. There's nothing wrong with that inner child being who they are. That is your authenticity. And that is who you don't let just anyone have. You don't. If they can't love your innocence, which is the authenticity of you in love, they don't fucking deserve you. Period. All right, my loves. I had my notes I was looking at. I hope this helped. I hope it was understandable. Again, please go check out Quantum Mysteries, Black Wind Psychic. I will put these down in the description. Intuitive Heart with Story, Chiron Intuition. Please go and check those readers out. Beautiful. Quantum Mysteries is more of a AI channel, but this information for Tantra has been around forever. It's just finally being broken down the way that it needs to. But check out those other readers. They're excellent. They are right on time with what they're saying. And please go and show them some love. I'd greatly appreciate it. All right, my loves. I hope this helped. Please, we need to stop this masculine and feminine, this male and female fight. And we need to stop blaming. Stop feeding these damn monkeys that's keeping up the circus show, that's keeping up the chaos show. Stop feeding the chaos. Okay? Stop feeding the chaos. To love you is to love your partner. Is to love everybody else. After you've balanced the love of you. Then you'll be able to learn compassion and just see everyone as love and energy. Just at different stages. That's all. All right, my loves. I love you.